Welcome everyone to Male Fuzz TV. I am Peter, that is Tara, and we talk about TV shows here. The year is 2022. The name of the show is Babylon 5. This is Season 5, Episode 5. It is called Learning Curve. Full spoilers for the episode as always. And this episode is, they ultimately merge, but it's about two things. We have young rangers in training, and some of the the head teachers of the ranger training program coming to visit the land, and they bring along a couple of students with them. And then we've also got a really cheesy kind of gangster on Babylon 5 who sounds, so he sounds like, that's what I was getting from, he sounds like Kano from the Mortal Kombat movie. He's got the same sort of gravelly voice. I don't know if he's actually also Australian or if he's English. It doesn't really matter, but the way he was talking was very similar to Kano in Mortal Kombat.
I don't think I've seen that movie since I was like 10 years old, so...
You're not missing much. It's fact, you can leave it behind. Leave it in the dirt. But that's what it was making me think of. Like, we have to make them understand. See, he's like, I can't do the voice, but it's like what Guy Ritchie movie did you walk out of? Like, what? Like, what is this? So that's the two main things that are going on here. There's obviously some stuff bubbling with Captain Lockley and Garibaldi, and there's a bit of a almost out of nowhere thing at the end with Sheridan and Delenn, which I'm sure we can talk about and speculate on.
Yeah, I was wondering if I missed something, so I'm glad you said speculate. 'Cause I'm like, wait, did I miss something?
I mean, it seems relatively obvious, but they've not outright stated it to us yet.
Okay,
right?
okay, all right. Let me see. Is there romantic background? Is that what you...
Well, that's what I think. I mean,
yeah, okay.
They've not actually said that in as many words, but the indication and the body language, because they skip ahead, they skip over him actually telling her. He looks like, oh no, I've been caught out here, I need to fess up now. And then they're lying awkwardly in bed, but then she's got her back to him, and like,
yeah, I couldn't think of anything else that maybe it could be. But I don't know. We'll talk about it after, I guess.
Ah, this beautiful woman you hired to be the new captain on the station that we have to be around every day. Oh, that's an ex-girlfriend, is it? Oh, so that's what it felt like to me. But maybe there's something more to it. Maybe there's something else.
Delenn killed a lot of humans. All right, it's like 1 and 1.
You're on her side a little bit. I've been pissed about not being informed about this.
Oh yeah. I would be. I don't know. I want to think that I'm like the jealous type, but
it's not about being
I'd
jealous.
Be a little bit like, yeah, I don't really want to work with your ex-girlfriend.
I mean, it's not even so much. I mean, that's a fair opinion to have, but it's not even really about like what she is in his past. It's more about the fact that he didn't tell her. Like, the fact that it's been like a couple of weeks now, or even a month now.
Maybe it was nothing. Like maybe they just like, had a couple lunches together.
I love this.
Maybe they didn't sleep together.
I love that this is what we went straight to talk about. It's like probably the smallest thing in the episode because it's to do with Delenn and Sheridan. Delenn and Sheridan's love life. It has to be the highest priority item on the list because this is what you want to talk about.
Well, it's so juicy. I love the gossip.
Yeah. The catalyst for this was Sheridan approves Delenn's Minbari thing in the episode, and Lockley responds to Delenn with, "He approved that? That doesn't sound like him." And that's what got her the cogs going in the brain. What does she mean by that? What does she mean doesn't sound like him?
Yeah. Even that line, though, doesn't really seem like... I don't know.
It was the way she said it,
that would trigger anything.
Yeah, I think it was the way she said it. It was like, I know him intimately, and that doesn't seem like the old John that I know. Kind of thing. Even
Lockley should know better then. In that case, like, come on, Lockley, like, you don't want to cause any kind of strife here.
I think maybe she does want to stir the pot a little bit.
No, I don't think so, because she's got to work with these people.
Well, that's the thing.
And they have more power over her, kind of. So, like,
well, they've overruled her a couple of times now already.
Yeah, well, seemingly they have more power than she does. So, like, she doesn't want to have one of them, like, upset with her, or both of them upset with her.
I mean, let's assume she is being a little schemy here. I wonder if this, like, trying to... because of the fight she has with Garibaldi, and Garibaldi clearly doesn't trust her, right? That's a big thing in this episode. We have the rather amusing breakfast sequence.
I really hope that her file doesn't show that she was in a relationship with Sheridan. Like, why would they keep track of that?
It may not show that they're a relationship, but what if they get, I don't know, what if they get caught sneaking out after dark together or something? So that'd be on the record.
You think there's some like paparazzi photo or something?
But Garibaldi, actually, just on this breakfast, now maybe this is just like a really American thing, but I'm pretty sure all three of these characters on their plates for breakfast had a stack of pancakes and a stack of waffles, and I was like, how are all three not obese? Like, what the hell?
It looked like some sort of sticky bun or it looked like dessert.
Yeah,
it did. It looked like some sort of really pastry with a lot of icing on it.
But multiple, like they all had multiple plates of things, and I'm like, how are you not obese? And
we love our sweet starches in the morning.
I would love it too, but there's still a limit to how much you should be having. Anyway, which made like, so Zach gets, he gets uncomfortable with like this fight and going back and forth. So every so often it'll cuts back to him, and he just tries like, this food tastes a little. Maybe there's something. They're putting something else in it, and he's just sort of talking to himself about the food. Honestly, noticing what the food was makes him going, maybe it's garlic. I'm like, why would there be garlic on the waffles and pancakes? Nobody puts garlic on waffles and pancakes.
Maybe they just look like waffles. Maybe it's actually like biscuits and gravy. Maybe it's a white gravy.
Speaking of things that shouldn't exist, Vale. White gravy.
A white gravy?
What a nonsense.
Oh, it's fairly common.
Aye. In America land, yes.
Yes. We love our gravies.
Well, I'm curious, when you were in Canada, was biscuits and gravy a thing in Canada?
No, but like poutine is just French fries and gravy and cheese curds.
French fries and gravy makes sense. People have chips and gravy everywhere. That's a normal thing.
Oh, maybe we got it from the Brits then.
Literally every fast food place has an option of chips, gravy, and cheese if you want it. They don't call it poutine.
I never had biscuits and gravy until I moved to the East Coast in the U.S. Till I was in Virginia. That's the only. So also the first time I had like shrimp and grits. I had never had that before. Grits weren't like really a thing growing up in either Canada or California.
Yeah, I don't know what grits are, but that's okay. We can move on.
Yeah. They're made out of corn.
So, yeah, they're having this fight. It gets really heated. Notably, like half the people in the cafeteria applaud her when she like has this big rant back at Garibaldi. So clearly, people are still a bit divided and sort of see her point of view. But she runs into Sheridan in the elevator and is kind of buddy and says, "Oh, I'm having some problems with Garibaldi," and he's like, "Should I speak to him?" And she's like, "No, I'll take care of it in my own way somehow." But they're still clearly they're getting along together just fine, right? So maybe I'm reaching here, but I'm just wondering if like this is the whole point is to like, try and reestablish like not a romantic link with Sheridan, but just reestablish like a strong personal link because she feels like everyone else is kind of like not on her side. So I don't know if that's what that was an intentional thing.
I don't know. That sounds like a man writing a woman.
I have no comeback. How can
women, these bitches, they be crazy. They're always trying to get this one guy. That's all they care about.
I'm not saying she's trying to get the one guy. I'm saying she's trying to form a tangible ally because she feels that she doesn't have any other ones. Although I have no comeback. I can't have a comeback for that because I'm a man and you're accusing me of seeing something that you're accusing men of seeing in women. I'm saying this one particular person might be scheming. I don't think that everyone else is scheming.
Mm-hmm. All right.
I feel accused. I feel accused right now.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, maybe. I luckily should have known better not to get in the way of, true love.
I guess what I'm saying is she feels like a smart enough character that I don't necessarily think the dropping of that little line was unintentional. I guess that's all I'm saying, is that it felt like she knew what she was doing when she said that.
Well, if this is what the season's going to be, I am into it. Let's get all the relationship drama episodes.
Oh,
yes,
dear.
Please.
Oh,
Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, of Babylon 5.
Oh, dear.
Finally,
okay.
The show was made for
me.
This
is very much and there's a lot of implications possibly of future drama, yes, of coming out of this, but this is definitely the smaller part of the episode. The only other thing to mention would be that Garibaldi's trying to look at the personal records which Zach has access to, but he's not letting him out. And he says like, "Hey, I looked at Sheridan's record when he came on board," and I'm like, "Yeah, I believe that he did." That sounds like something Garibaldi would do. Maybe even mentioned it at the time. I don't remember, but it sounds like I believe it.
Yep. It's probably a good thing that he's not in charge anymore of security.
Yeah. I think Garibaldi
Bending
always
the rules.
He always means well. Was he breaking the rules though when he was head of security looking at that?
Bending the rules.
I don't know. Maybe.
I mean, I assume it's so because Zach's like, no, that's unethical. We're not going to do that.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. Zach is targeted for assassination at one point in this episode, so the gangster on the station is making examples of people who aren't either paying them back or whatever. He's very cliched, he's very, like I say, out of a Guy Ritchie movie. Maybe that's insulting to Guy Ritchie, I don't know. But he, when Zach finds like he's at the crime scene for the body that's found, he makes a speech saying, "Hey, he's trying to scare everyone, and it looks like it's working, so some people need to help us so we can help protect you." And immediately the gangster's like, he may actually convince some people. Let's kill him and make it clear to the authorities that, they're not safe. And there's like one smart guy in his team who's like, we get to do what we do because we stay under the radar here. So if we go after the head of security, they're just going to hunt us down. And he's ultimately right, although... Of course, Zach never makes it to the meeting place where he's going to be ambushed. It ends up being one of the Minbari who are here, one of the young Minbari, one of the Ranger trainees who gets the shit kicked out of him.
I know. Good thing he was wearing his helmet.
Well, actually, I appreciated the little bit, the little detail here, which was Franklin says if he was human, he'd be dead, and I completely buy that a couple of thugs wouldn't know that the force they used wouldn't be enough to kill him in Barry. Like, there's like, this would have killed a human, so they stopped. They didn't just leave him alive intentionally. They assumed that they did enough to kill him, but they didn't. So I appreciate that detail. Thoughts on the gangster and his ways?
Yeah, I mean the gangster subplot was whatever. It's a bit cheesy. Fine. I mean, I like the idea of a mob running Babylon 5 in the brown zone or whatever, but like
I believe the word they use is sector, not zone.
Well, that's what we say on this show.
The brown zone sounds even worse than brown sector, but go on.
So I don't know, like obviously the mantis is nowhere to be seen, so with him out of the way there's room for a new crime lord.
Yeah, but the mantis was more of a subtle actor, I think, than this dude was.
Well, the mantis was good. He was your guy. Like, you need to get something, you went through mantis.
Yeah, he was cheesy, he was silly. I mean, I did look forward to him getting these comeuppance because he was so like comically just like a prick, but definitely overwritten or underwritten.
Also, the the best part about Cole and his scenes were when he got to do some choreography. Like, I like the fight scenes, and this one I didn't really like all the pike stuff in it.
That's right. There's some pike action this episode. That's right. Yeah.
I felt it was a little, underwhelming, even that some of the choreography was pretty good in older episodes.
Yeah, Asmund Mount here in spirit. We got some pike action. Well, that's a nice reference.
You already made the Babylon 5 reference in the Captain Pike show, so you can't do it now. You can't do the reverse.
I could do it both ways all I want. Thank you very much.
No, I won't allow it. Not with the same host, anyway.
There's no rules to this.
I make the rules. I'm the captain now.
Yeah, all right, Lockley. We'll trust you. We'll get your personal records. He was cheesy. I did kind of like the Minbari going like basically a team of Batman, and they turn the lights off.
I thought the last act was just very. That's their fear training, is just to become the Batman.
Yeah, they all become Batman, and they all take out all the henchmen, and it's just like, no, we'll let you leave, but you have to go through him, because the whole point of it is that the Minbari who was attacked, Tenier, which is notably like Lanier, but with the T, he, like, the idea is he'll feel shame and afraid of everything because he's had this attack and he failed. So to get his, like, confidence back, he has to be the one to kind of, like, face his fears and, like, face this guy again. I would have almost claimed that this was a little bit unsympathetic how they handled this. If they went for, like, if they killed him, I'd have been like, oh, this is a bit, like, you know, vengeful and like mob justice and what. But because it's just like, no, they just wins a fight and then that's it, and they give them over to Zack and security. So okay, fine, I can roll with it. But yeah, he gets to fight back, and the guy the whole time is like, I've got rights. Like, what about the rights of all the people you're exploiting and then murdering? Like, what about them, you tit? Come on. So the hypocrisy rings true, and Tenier takes him down, and it's you know, it's all right.
Were you expecting Lanier to show up in the beginning of this episode? Because I totally was. I kept waiting for the camera to like go a little bit more to the left.
They mention him, obviously. The school teacher dude, he kind of says, oh, Lanier's training a bit harder than he should be. He's trying to impress someone. Clearly he knows who he's trying to impress, but he's trying to impress a lady, perhaps.
Well, I mean, no one can resist her smile after all.
So... Oh, that's a reference to the last episode. I got it. It took me a second, but I got it. I was like, what's she talking about? What's Tara? What nonsense is Tara speaking now? Oh, I remember.
That's right.
I'm sorry I doubted you for 5 seconds.
Well, yeah, I don't know. I thought it was odd that I really thought that he was going to show up, or like there would be a surprise like cameo from like, you two are coming with me to Babylon 5, and he would point off screen, and then it would be a reveal and it's Billy Mooney. But instead we got Tenier, which is like so close. It's so close to Lanier.
I think I appreciate the idea of like sort of giving us an update on him, but just sort of like still like teasing, because obviously he's going to make a grand return in the relative near future, I assume, and this is just like a way to tease him a bit. I don't
know, like I still think maybe it's just going to be the finale.
Oh no, it'll be before the finale, because the finale was just the one that was originally for season 4. I feel like they have to pay off what his return is, because if they don't reference the fact that he left, it'll be weird. So he has to come back before the finale. That's my... It could be the episode before the finale, it could just be one before, but he has to come back before the finale.
Okay.
I would be right on this one. I can feel it. I can feel it in my soul.
Maybe. I don't know. I haven't looked.
I got my Minbari crystals out, and I feel it in my chi or whatever.
That's not how crystals work. In any universe.
Like, you know how crystals work.
I own some, but it's only because the makeup brand I buy from like are really into crystals, and so they're like a free gift with purchase. I'm like, oh great, someone's gonna think I'm a crystal mama.
I'm a nerd, so you say crystals and all I'm thinking is Fortress of Solitude. Like, I'm thinking USB crystals, which to be fair, they kind of have in Babylon 5. Their USB sticks are little crystal things.
But yeah, that's how they send their emails through crystal.
Maybe that's just GMS being a nerd, and he's like, yeah, I'm gonna make a reference to Superman by having the USB sticks be. I mean, they wouldn't have said USB stick, because they wouldn't have called it a USB stick in 1993 when they were starting the show, but that's what we're calling them now.
Superman. Yeah,
but that's effectively what they are, right? When you do it, yeah. He plugs in a crystal, and hologram Jor-El pops up. It's a thing. I did appreciate. Honestly, if you told me there was going to be a Krypton, oh yeah, Marlon Brando, the idiot. Mispronouncing Krypton.
He's like the king of Krypton. I think he knows.
No, there's a famous story where he met Richard Donner, director of Superman, and I realize this is a bit of a tangent, but bear with me, where he said what if he played Jor-El as if he was, I think it was a suitcase, and Richard Donner like had to talk him out of it and explain why he couldn't be a suitcase and why he had to play him as a human. And obviously this is like a year before like Apocalypse Now in terms of the release dates, and I heard
stories about that too.
All I could think was, okay, this is Marlon Brando was clearly going into his weird demented actor phase, but Richard Donner was able to reel him in and like sort of like use like his own weird logic to convince him that no, Jor-El should still be kind of human for these reasons. I can't remember what the convincing reason was, but it was that. There's a few good stories. with that. The other one is that he convinced Gene Hackman to shave his mustache because he said, if you shave your mustache, I'll shave mine. And so Gene Hackman shaved his mustache to play Lex Luthor, and when they met in person on set, he's like, hey, you still got your mustache, director? And Donner just pulled it off. It was a fake mustache. He never had one. So he convinced him to shave his mustache by being a bit of a trickster. That was just some Superman the movie trivia for those interested.
I'm always going to be pro mustache. I feel like he should have kept it, even if it's not comic accurate. It's already not really comic accurate, you know?
Sure. But do you mean like men in general, or just specifically Gene Hackman? You think mustache is the way to go?
Well, that's like what, 70s?
Yeah.
70s mustache? Yeah, he should have kept it.
Okay. Well, what I did appreciate though about the Minbari stuff is that we have this idea of like the Rangers being made up of not only just different castes of Minbari, but also they even talk about the different species. And there's a debate at one point with Delenn about how to use the carrion eater race.
Yeah, it's got a Zoidberg alien back there.
The Mar? That's something like that. Anyway, like, okay, but yeah, everyone tries to stay away from them, so maybe they're the best to be secretly, curating things or, whatever, or transporting things. Like, surely that makes sense. So okay, that's smart. But what I liked about the different cast thing with the Minbari is that if you told me there was going to be a spin-off with these two old teachers just joshing each other about being warrior and religious caste, because I actually was really entertained by their back and forth at the start of the episode.
Yeah, they were good.
Yeah, I thought it was likable. I thought it was like playful, and I was like, okay, I can kind of see like how like these two Minbari from the different casts are kind of like coexisting but poking fun at each other for.
We hate each other, not anymore.
So I had fun with that. I think the episode as a whole is weaker than the last couple. I think mainly because cheesy, gangster plot is just really cheesy. I mean, I don't really have much more to say about it. The actor was hamming it up, which I guess was mildly entertaining, but ultimately it can't really be much more than that. There was also some teasing with Garibaldis and telepaths. We got the next little nugget of that plot line.
Mm-hmm. I could be a telepath in this club.
Why?
Because I've got the long frizzy curly hair.
Do you think that's all it takes? That's
clearly
the whole thing?
that's they teach you the rest.
Yeah. Yes, well, it'd be interesting if he sort of hires Lita to perhaps supervise his telepath division or get her involved. It feels a bit weird that she's not been included, but we'll see how that plays out.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, well, she was kind of being seduced by them the last time.
Yeah.
And didn't that episode like end up with her like joining their club?
Well, it wasn't.
Or at least wanting to know more.
She wanted to know more. Yeah, you're kind of adding on. I mean, it's kind of implied it might go that way, but you're kind of adding on extra things that didn't happen yet.
Well, didn't she get like the first tier of crystals for her book learning about the history? And then like as she gives them more credits, then they'll give her more crystals. It's like a Scientology thing. No, that didn't happen yet. Watch out for charismatic leaders, everyone.
What just happened? What's happening?
I'm just making, predictions.
I just wanted to mention Lita to say the right name and rub it in your face. That's all. That's all I wanted to do.
We usually say the right name.
We usually do, but you planted like a demon in my mind.
Yeah, well, witches be crazy.
How did you feel about the episode?
I thought I'm kind of neutral on it. I didn't think it was bad. I mean, it's just a fine episode. A little extra lore. I like the stuff, obviously, with Sheridan and Delenn.
I'm shocked.
Maybe some Lockley thrown in there. That was good. I liked every time Zach was on screen because he's definitely the best character in the show. And I'm not budging on that.
Wait, the best character. Yeah. Like better than Londo, better than Jakar, better than everyone.
I have problems with those two. I don't have any problems with Zach.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Fair enough.
Good to see him standing up and be like, "Look, Garibaldi, like I'm in charge. I don't need your permission to do things anymore. This is my show."
It is nice to see.
He's got confidence. You know, he always survives now.
It is nice to see like their demeanor with each other now that Zach is more confident in his like role. You know, because when Garibaldi first left and he was like, "Oh, I'm just kind of keeping this seat warm for the chief coming back," and whereas now he actually feels like he's confident in the role and he feels like he's gotten used to it and is comfortable.
I think he feels like he's a little bit better in the role too.
Yeah, maybe he's now acknowledging Garibaldi's faults and you know what, there's some things I can do better than he did. Not with disrespecting him, not thinking that Garibaldi wasn't good in other ways, but you know, because he has a whole thing here where Garibaldi's on a rant about how Minbari, like once they're in a fight, they'll never back down, they'll never stop.
This coming from like the most stubborn person on the ship.
Well, to be fair, Zach calls him out on it immediately and says, "Yeah, you're just like the Minbari. This is you to a fault. You don't let things go."
Mm-hmm.
So, which I do appreciate that he is like stubbornly still asking about this Lockley thing, and he still doesn't trust her, and that's been there since she showed up. It does feel true to his character and doesn't feel like just a random plot point for plot point's sake. It feels like no, this completely feels like Garibaldi, given everything Garibaldi's done up until this point.
Yeah, totally.
So, no, yeah, it was an alright episode. I'd say it's middling overall, but there's little nuggets of character beats and moments that I like.
Yeah, I guess I like the last one a little bit more, but this one is fine.
And the last two were better. I think I appreciate the fleshing out of some of the Minbari stuff, although I'm not necessarily sure like we needed as much of the Minbari stuff we get in this one fleshed out. Once they started talking about the fear and stuff, I was like, okay, all right. I feel like we're kind of adding extra things on, and even if it was always planned, it kind of felt like we're getting into like an extra layer in this particular like thread of Minbari lore now that it feels like, okay, what loose ends or loose like ideas did I have lying around that we didn't do before already? But I did appreciate like the small character beats between various characters. So yeah.
So are Minbari kind of like, not to like compare to Star Trek too much, but are they kind of like Vulcans where they're just so, they actually have very, very strong emotions, but they seem so reserved all the time because they have to constantly meditate to like keep those emotions at bay, otherwise they'll go on revenge plots and they'll have these
I think that was established back in season 1 when Lanier said that if they have a drop of alcohol they'll turn into ravagous murderers.
I thought that was just the alcohol.
I suppose the way you could look at it if you want to compare Star Trek and B5 is that the Minbari are both the Vulcans and the Romulans, and that the different casts are kinda the two different races, kinda. Loosely. Yes. I'm not saying it's a 1-to-1, but there's some loose comparison you can make.
Romulans are tricksy. I don't see them as tricksy.
Tricksy?
Yeah.
As in tricksters?
Yes.
Okay. Is tricksy a word?
It is, according to Gollum from The Lord of the Rings. Tricksy hobbitses.
Pretty sure hobbitses is not a real word either, just for the record.
Hobbitses.
Hobbitzins, whatever. I don't care.
Yeah. It was a good episode. Looking forward to the next one. Hope it's good.
All right, well, I guess that wraps it up then. Let us know what you think of this one. And the comments below, like, subscribe, ding the bell, all that stuff. Get us on the Twitters for mail_fuzz for channel updates. If you want to support the show, you can do it a couple of different ways. You can hit the super thanks button below the video, or you can go over to patreon.com/mailfuzztv. Cat Tara.
That's right, Peter. If you enjoy our reviews, please check out the Patreon page. That's patreon.com/mailfuzztv, where if you donate as low as $1 per month, you will get access to bonus content. And if you donate $5 per month, you will get access to these reviews 6 days early. So you can be ahead of everyone else and be closer to us and be part of our little community. Thank you.
Aye. You'll be in the brown zone of the community, but...
Whoa. Well, it depends what tier you pick, yeah.
Yeah, I should read in all the tiers on Patreon as to brown sector, red sector, blue sector, whatever. Command deck.
Mm-hmm.
I know.
CNC.
Yeah, CNC. There you go. So yes, thank you very much once again for watching. Listening, we always appreciate it. Keep watching Babylon 5. Just don't give away the home world.